are not going to be done. So I will see you guys next week.
They wanted us, said our name because history made it easy, because they knew how the story often went.
Cobb! Touchdown! Randall Cobb! Right on cue, Joe.
Years stacked like scars, a city's unconditional love put to test. But this fan base knew that eventually our winter was coming in. January 10th changed the temperature. These bears don't carry ghosts of the past, they carry purpose.
It's our night tonight! Feed off this energy, fellas! We're here for a reason!
Belief in a defense that won't give up, a defense that was good, is getting better, and is working to be best. It's then about an offense, it runs, it blocks, it passes with a quarterback who doesn't rank confidence. He owns it. Hands that don't shake, moments that don't break, leadership that changes leagues, theirs and ours. This isn't about hope, this is about a rival. The noise isn't desperation anymore, it's an icy warning. Soldier Field isn't a stop on the schedule, it's a tax. The past had its turn, the balance has shifted, the climb changed size. This is playoff football in Chicago, cold, connected, unapologetic. They don't choose us now,
Bears by 4.
we choose them. They don't choose us now, 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 we choose them.
Miracle moments to breaking it down. It's time to talk football in a Bears first town. The win, the plays, what it all really means. From the man blasting cheese heads to smithereens.
This is Gabriel Talks Football with Great Gabriel.
That's right, and the handsome gentleman to my screen right is Greg Gabriel. My name is Aldo Gandia, and they don't choose us anymore. We choose them because we are the superior team. Greg, great win on Saturday night. Are you still on cloud nine?
I know I didn't get any sleep Saturday night.
Tell me about it.
Wait a minute, before I even go there, you said you didn't think the opening was that great. That was outstanding.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Really good job. You get so wound up, and there's certain things you want to listen to, and then listen to the Prime after show, which went on like forever, and it finished up with Caleb and Loveland and those guys grating the cheese. That was just hilarious. The whole thing was good, but I didn't get to sleep till probably 2 or 2:30.
Yeah, same here. You want to see all the highlights. You want to see all the interviews. So I'm the same way. 2:30, and then yesterday I didn't watch much of the other games because I wanted to do that new open, and I felt like, I was trying to figure out what's the message. Well, clearly the message was the Packers were looking forward to playing us. They were so confident. The Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, stomping on the podium and saying, "We'll be here next week." and players like Christian Watson and Nixon saying, we want the Bears. It's like so disrespectful. And then they choke in the fourth quarter. They not only choke
the whole second half.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that third quarter defense.
The one quote by one of their players up on the thing goes, "Oh, we were kicking their ass." I go, and I, retweeted it, and I said, "Last time I looked, the game was 60 minutes. You played one half. You didn't show up the second half."
Yep. Yeah, and we need to tell that to all the fans too. I was getting so bummed out again. The Chicago Bears fans have not learned their lesson. You don't judge.
I almost threw in the towel. I was like, "This is like Indiana." This is like I tweeted out. I go, "This is like Indiana, Oregon."
I saw that. I was like, "Whoa!"
It was. They just couldn't get anything going. But when in the second half, you saw the way the defense came out. Stopped right away. Offense still needed, I think, their second possession before they scored. But when they hit 9 points, I started to feel confident. So, okay, now they're only down 2 touchdowns. That's easy. Yeah. So, and it was.
It was easy. And got to give credit to so many people. I'd like to start by just applauding Dennis Allen, the adjustments that he made at halftime. It's always dangerous to blitz good quarterbacks, but they had some exotic blitzes. We didn't know who was coming in. We didn't know who was going to fall back. Kyler Gordon was sent in. DeMarco Jackson, all sorts of guys that you haven't seen blitz all year. I know Gordon does when he's healthy. But it was so effective. It really threw the Packers off.
They didn't get sacks, but they got pressures.
Yes.
And pressures can be very, very effective.
Yes. You got to credit Montez Sweat. He got a game ball, and Coach Johnson was absolutely right. He was all around that quarterback.
Yeah, he played his ass off. He played really, really hard.
Really good.
Hey, a credit to the whole team. They never gave up. And I tweeted something like yesterday. I said, if we hadn't figured it out before, we know it now. This team has no give up in it at all.
Yeah.
And they're going to play hard. And it's, I don't know if I've seen anything like it this many times in a game. And I've been doing, I've been involved in this game since I was 8 years old, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
It's just very unique situation. The players buy into the coaches, and the coaches are buying into the players.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm going to tell you, Ben Johnson took some flack from a couple people on social media because of the way he really didn't shake the hand of LaFleur. Who the hell cares?
Exactly.
And it's like, and then he also took for heat because it went, it went viral. The locker room celebration when he said, "Excuse my language, fuck the Packers."
It's awesome.
I tweeted out yesterday. I said he gets it, and I tweeted out another thing. I said, when I got here in June 2001, second day on the job, Ed McCaskey walked into my office. He wasn't there the first day, so I didn't even know who he was. This older man comes in, and he's just casually dressed and introduced himself. So right away I stand up. Then he goes, no, sit down. So he starts talking, and all he talked about was the Packers rivalry. And at the end of the conversation, you could see how much it meant to him. Then at the end of the conversation, he handed me a DVD, and it was the Bears fight sound. Not DVD, CD. It was the Bears fight sound. He goes, "Learn it. They'll be
I love it.
But it was, 2 days on the job, I knew, and I come from the NFC East. I knew rivalries, New York, Philly, New York, Washington, New York, Dallas, but nothing's like this. Nothing comes close to this.
Yeah. And thank you, Lutz, the reporter, for your $5 donation and the endorsements that you've had on social media for our show and the network entirely. And Lutz writes, did the hatred between Ben Johnson and LaFleur start when Ben said he enjoyed beating LaFleur twice a year? You think that was when
perhaps I think it started before then? I think it goes back. And I think that I think that's why it might have been some interaction between them early in his career, but when he said that, because he said it kind of emphatically the day of his presser, there's no lost love there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, too, you go back to the first Green Bay game and Green Bay wins. LaFleur acted the same exact way that Ben did.
Yeah.
So
he did.
I love Dick Vitale, but Dick Vitale can shove it.
Is he the one that said that?
Vitale did. He said it was classless. No, you got to understand. And he's from Detroit. Maybe he's still pissed off that Ben's not at Detroit. He's originally from Detroit, but
he coached there, didn't he?
Yeah, I coached at was it the University of Detroit? He was at, or someplace, one of those places. But I'm almost at a loss of words talking about this because it was just so satisfying.
And I'll tell you this, Greg, it is really good for the league to have this intense rivalry between Green Bay and Chicago. The media is eating it up. I've seen some clips that I'm going to show on Wednesday night's show of the media saying, I hated what happened to the Bears-Packers rivalry. They were being nice to each other. I want to go back to the Ditka versus Forrest Gregg days where they were angry at each other and swearing at each other and so forth. That's what football is. And I agree with that.
It is. It's a tough game. It's a physical game. It's a brutal game. If you can't handle it, get the hell out of the kitchen, man.
Right. And somebody mentioned that hit that DJ Moore that in the last regular season game, DJ Moore was hit from behind. Those are the types of cheap shots that grow a rivalry. You just don't not talk about that. You should talk about that, and you should say fuck Green Bay, and you should look forward to choose them next time. Who do we open up the season in 26? We don't know, but we want the Packers. We will take them at Lambeau. We'll take them at Humboldt Park. We'll take them wherever.
Humboldt Park. It's funny because there's a Humboldt Park in Buffalo too.
Really?
There's a lot of stuff in Buffalo that the same thing is in Chicago.
Do they have a big Polish and immigrant population in Buffalo? That's probably why.
The Upper East Side was extremely Polish when I was a kid.
Okay. All right. That's Humboldt Park when I first moved in the 60s, and then us Puerto Ricans drove them out. They were out. We're getting the hell out of here. These Puerto Ricans are loud.
Buffalo is a very ethnic city.
Yeah.
If you went to the Upper East Side, it was Polish. You went to the West Side, it was Italian. You went to the South Side, it was Irish.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So that's, I think a lot of cities are that way where, they tend to drift off into their own packs, the different ethnicities. All right. Let's talk some details about this game. The Packers get out to a 21-3 lead, 21-6, I think it was at halftime. What went wrong for the Bears in that first half?
They showed up. The first drive was good.
Yeah,
they didn't finish it. They 8-minute drive, but they didn't finish it. And I think that might have, I don't want to say hurt momentum, but that might be the best way to say it. Yeah. Had they scored a touchdown there instead of 3, might have been a little bit different. But the defense, started out weak, and they've been doing that. Both sides of the ball have been starting out slow and then finishing strong. So you got to applaud Dennis Allen. You got to applaud the players. The players got to make the plays.
Yes, exactly.
And JJ and Kyler aren't close to being themselves yet. You can see that they don't have the explosive movement. Kyler was getting picked on left and right because he just that real quick twitch that you normally see. He just doesn't have it yet. He'll get it back. Yeah. He might not get it back at all this year, whether it's one game or 3 more games. But it's better to have him out there than not out there. But just everybody else has got to be playing perfect because they're playing with some limitations.
Yeah. And, I was surprised that we were unable to unlock our great running game against the Packers. I mean, all week long, that's all I heard.
They were trying to stop it, though. You only can do what
the defense is giving you.
If they're geared up to stop the run, you aren't going to run against them.
Got a couple of questions here I want to get to before I lose them. There was one, and I guess I didn't save it. At the start of the show, one of our people in the chat wanted to know your thoughts about George McCaskey running down the tunnel to see how TJ Edwards were. If you could comment on that, because McCaskey gets so much hate.
I did not see that, but that so actually the first I've heard of it right now. That's George. That's George to a T. George cares about everybody. And I've said it probably 10 times on here. That guy gets a bad rap. The McCaskey family gets a bad rap from people who have no idea what they're talking about, don't know the people. You've met George, through me this summer.
Yep.
George is a great guy.
He is.
He really is. And he cares about a lot. He's in his mid-70s. He's the same age as me, but he looks a lot younger. Keeps himself in good shape. How about the video? Did you see the video where somebody, it was from earlier in the year where somebody was trying to take some selfies out in the parking lot and guy was trying to get it, and George just goes, boom. And that was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah, I'll tell you, he was dashing down that tunnel. Edwards was being carted off in the cart, and 2 seconds later, you see George dashing, and he was showing real concern. And you're absolutely right. I mean, we've seen 2 video clips of George at games. One was, I think it was at Cincinnati, his reaction after Loveland run, scored the game-winning touchdown. He was, yeah, and he ran to the locker room. And then this one, and it's like, I don't know if he got like a PR agency to make him look better. And I know he didn't. I'm just kidding. But boy, I mean, has he become much more accessible to fans, much more likable, I should say. Team is winning.
He's always been accessible.
Yeah.
The fans who did interact with him knew it, but I don't think the media knew that much about it. He walked through the stands, walked through the parking lots where the tailgating was going on. He just did it on his own. And this is when he was the ticket manager. This dates back more than 15 years ago.
Yeah. And when he interned at Channel 2 as a news writer. So I would see him when I was working there. I would see him, in the newsroom. I never wanted to bother him. I wish I would have gone up and at least said hi to him. Do you think that J2K just posted, do you think that we have seen the last of TJ Edwards, that he might get an injury settlement and the Bears will be hunting for a new starting linebacker?
He only had a broken fibula. That's not a big deal.
So you think he might be back? There's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if a broken tibia is a more severe injury than a fibula, you just can't play with it. Now, Lawrence Taylor played with a broken freaking fibula.
He was a Superman.
They wrapped that sucker up and he played. But he's got some limitations. And Jackson actually does some things better. He's not as instinctive. He's not the quarterback that Edwards is, but he's far more athletic. And that's TJ's weak point, is that he's got limited speed. He didn't have a lot of speed when he came out. And you put him in the right scheme, in the right situation, he can make a bunch of tackles like he does. But when you get him out in space, that's where he's going to struggle. Last week he got beat in a man-to-man situation on a deeper ball. And I'm not thinking, why is he even put in that situation? That's a loss. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But a guy like Jackson where he might get beat too, he won't get beat as bad because he's faster and more athletic.
Right. Yep. Hairbear's got a great question here. Do you think the change in defensive play in the second half was due to personnel changes, execution, or both?
Probably both. Yeah, it's a lot of the difference between winning and losing can be this much. But if you are more physical and you got a mindset that you're going to beat the dude across from you,
Right.
you're going to win.
Yep.
It really gets down to that simple. You come out like you go in that first Philly game, Black Friday. There was no way the Bears were going to lose the way they came out. They were ready to kick some ass, and they did.
Right.
And I think that's the mindset that this team had coming out of the tunnel in the second half. They were getting their butts kicked, and they were like, we're not going down without swinging.
Yep. And I'll add this. Kyler Gordon played in the second half. He was withheld for most of the first half. And they were picking on Kyler left and right, left. But as the game went on, he started making more and more plays, in my opinion. I'd have to study the tape to give you a definitive answer on that. And I think this had a huge reason for the improved play. Ben Johnson talked about what he told the team at halftime, and he reminded them about great comebacks. I got his soundbite here.
Well, the one thing that we had done during training camp was we had shown the film of the Atlanta and New England game and the Super Bowl from, was that 2016? I can't remember what year that was, but we have two players on our roster that were part of both those teams. You know, Grady was with Atlanta and Joe Tooney was with New England, and it was just great to get perspective from both of those players of how that game went down. And I think it's just a good lesson to be learned that, you know, it's 28-3 in the middle of the third quarter, and yet, you know, the game still being played, and there's a lot of time left. And that was my message to the group, was just reminding them that this has been done before, and rather than saying woe is me and oh crap, we're in a hole, it's more, this is a great opportunity for us to turn this thing around into a game that we'll never forget, and that's what they did.
Is that as emotional?
Greg, Jalen Johnson said in the locker room, he said, the difference is we came out in the second half and we played better. We played harder. We executed better.
Pretty much what I just said. Yeah. I mean, they had a mindset that they weren't going to get beat. There's one thing, though, being a Buffalonian, I got to take a little offense to, because there's a lot of stuff like the greatest comeback in
I know what you're going to say.
There was a game, and I was working for the Giants. There was a game that Frank Reich had to play quarterback because Jim Kelly was hurt, and they were down by 30 points at halftime.
Yeah.
And came back and won that freaking game.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget it. That was an incredible game. Absolutely. Who was the quarterback?
Frank Reich was the quarterback.
Frank Reich was the quarterback. Yes.
Jim Kelly was the regular quarterback. He was hurt. Frank Reich played quarterback in that game.
Right.
But they went to the Super Bowl that year. But that was against Houston, because I think they were still Houston then before they moved to Tennessee. And just the comeback literally was, from a point perspective, the best comeback in playoff history in the NFL.
Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was. That was unbelievable. I'll never forget that game. All right. The other significant player that was injured and lost for the season is Ozzie Trapillo. And I actually got the video here of the injury, Greg. It just, his left knee kind of buckles once 52 pushes him down. You see how his left knee, right there, buckles, and it's coming up in slow motion after this one. What do you think?
They said he tore his patella tendon, and I tore my Achilles, so it's a big tendon like the patella tendon. It can happen that easily, and it just, the force on the leg was so strong that it tore the tendon. It's a tough injury to come back. People were sending me DMs last night. How long is he going to be out? And I said, it's hard to say, and the reason being this, number one, and this is the most important part, how good is the surgery? Now, what the surgery's done, and he might have already had it. He could have had it yesterday for all we know.
Mhm.
but it probably won't be any later than tomorrow. I would think.
Okay.
You want to get it, especially
Unless there's a lot of swelling, right?
well, no, this is a tendon though, not
Gotcha.
not an
Gotcha.
ACL. ACL sometimes they want the swelling to go down. They'll wait.
Mhm.
Sometimes they wait 2 weeks on an ACL, but this is a tendon. Like when I tore my Achilles, I was going to Buffalo the next day. I was supposed to. My daughter and her husband were going to a wedding down in Florida, and I was supposed to go to Buffalo to babysit my grandkids.
Mhm.
So I called Mark Bowen, who was the Bears orthopedic at the time. He's retired now. He retired after last season.
Hmm.
I said, I know I just tore my Achilles. This is what I'm supposed to do. Can I do it? He goes, as long as you have that surgery within a week, you're good, and you're not going to hurt it anymore. So go.
Wow.
But he said you got to have it done within a week.
Mhm.
On that, because it just makes it that much harder to heal. But again, how good does the surgery go? And we know every time there's a surgery, you never hear a doctor say it went bad. They all went great, right? So,
Mhm. Mhm.
but how that went, and then really even more important is how is Ozzy in rehab?
Yeah.
If he attacks rehab, he'll come back faster than if he doesn't attack it as hard.
Yeah.
He's got to be tough. He's got to overcome the pain. You got to get the range of motion back. But the least amount of time he's going to be is 6 months, which, takes you to right before camp opens.
Mhm.
And then I've seen things out, as long as 12 months, but I think that's for normal people.
Yeah.
Like you and I get hurt. We can go to therapy for an hour a day, maybe 3 times a week.
Mhm.
Okay, these guys can go 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week,
Right.
6 days a week. Okay, so it's entirely different situation. So I think, worst case is probably 8 months, which
Mhm.
means you might miss the first half of the season. But we'll find out. The first thing you got to do is when did he have the surgery, and when is he having it? How did that go? What do the doctors say? And then go from there.
Right. The other thing is I'm reminded of what Braxton Jones said when he came back at this season, and he talked about how psychologically it was a challenge for him, that
Right.
he would get annoyed quickly, and some days he didn't want to rehab, and he was grateful that he was
And
pushed.
see, that's part of it. You got to overcome that. You
Yeah.
got to attack it. You got to have a mindset that, I've had 12 orthopedic surgeries.
Mhm.
So, and every time I go in to rehab, some of it was when I was with the Bears. Some of these is I look at it like as a game.
Mhm. Mhm.
How long is it going to take? Well, it's going to take 2 months. Okay, well then it means it's going to take 6 weeks. And you got to take it like that, like it's a game and you're going to win. And so if I lose, if it takes me 8 weeks,
Mhm.
and you got to say you don't care about the pain.
Yeah. Well, Arnie is saying suddenly Karan Amagaje's returning might be more important. Well, it's going to be Braxton Jones.
I don't know about next year. Somebody's going to be brought up from IR, and it's going to be Braxton because they opened the window.
Yes, exactly.
And he's a veteran. But Karan, they really liked the way Karan was playing before he got dinged up at the end of camp. So, he's not out of the picture for next year, but I don't think he's in the picture for this year.
Do you think J2K is asking that Braxton might be back for 1 year next year? He's not going to sign a 1-year contract, is he?
Well, I'd say this, that he tests the market, and if there's nothing out there for him, then you can do it. But no, they can't afford to give him any money.
Yeah,
there's too many other people to pay.
Indeed. The other thing I want to say about Ozzy is applause, dude. He hustled his ass off that field so that the Bears would not have to burn a timeout. And this, according to Brad Biggs,
would have been an injury. Would have been an injury timeout.
Yeah, but I think it was Brad Biggs that said, that Ozzy's effort to get off the field was commendable because
that's who he is.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch his college tape. Don't
Mhm.
forget, his dad was a pretty good player himself, even though he never really knew his dad.
Yeah.
But, it's in his genes. That's what I like about guys like that. They're just tough-minded. It makes me think that, rehab's going to be tough. But I'm going to say he's got the mindset that he will overcome that.
Indeed. Great kid. Let's see what Grant is asking here. Greg, do you think that Jackson is playing better than Edwards did in the game? And hopefully TJ Edwards gets better.
We already touched that.
Mhm.
There's things that Edwards can do better.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's more athletic. He's faster. He's a lot faster. But he doesn't have the instincts. He's not the quarterback. A lot of the intangible stuff that Edwards have, Jackson doesn't have. But I'll tell you, Jackson's been a hell of a pleasant surprise. What happened? It's in my browser.
Yeah, I lost your picture there for a second. What does it say? Your browser what?
Lost connection to the video.
Oh, interesting.
You want me to get off and get in?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay, you talk and I'll get out and get back in.
I'll think of something to say. That's great, Gabriel. That Wi-Fi that he got or whatever it is a pain in the ass. This is Ben Johnson talking about the win, the come from behind win, and he's back. Look at that, and he looks better than ever. There you go.
Yeah, I just had to get out. I don't know what happened.
It's those gremlins inside computers and wires and all that stuff. I was just going to play this quick clip of Ben Johnson talking about the moxie of this team. And, people say that the way they win is unsustainable. And he goes, well, wait a minute. Take a look. Take a listen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's our identity here at this point, and some people say it's not sustainable. I don't know. It's the takeaways are, that's who we are on defense, and on offense, it's explosive plays. That's kind of what we've done all year long, and coming up in big moments. And as a team, it's just resiliency and knowing that late in the fourth quarter, that's really when we're at our best as a football team. So we'll keep striving to be better earlier in games and starting faster and all that. But that's it gives us something to work towards. But I can't be any more proud of this crew than I am right now.
Greg, did you detect that he sounded emotional?
Yeah, and I think that went back to the locker room.
Yep, I totally.
The celebration in the locker room. He also sounded like he had a little cold because he was. I noticed that on Saturday night when I was watching it. He was sniffling a lot. Chilly, windy. So he may have had a little cold. But the locker room celebration. And speaking of the locker room celebration, did you see the little video Kyle Brandt made this morning?
Oh, I have it. Levante Rogers sent it to me, so I have it if you want to look at it.
Oh, I've seen it. It's great. And
Yes.
but the thing is, he has the mannerisms down really, really well.
He really does. He really does. Let's take a quick look. It's a couple of minutes long. Here it is.
I'm Ben Johnson. I'm here to take over the NFL. You want to know my recipe? During games, I don't blink. After games, I don't breathe. For 4 quarters, I'm George Halas meets Hannibal Lecter. Look at my face. Do I look like I just won a football game? I did, again. We just ran for another 200 yards and my pulse never got above 85. My game day routine is just like this season for my team. It starts slow, quiet, scary, and then it builds and builds and it blows up. How can I turn the Bears around in 1 year? Because I turn my entire personality around in 1 second. First I'm Dexter, then I'm deafening. You want to see? Watch this. Hey! Hell yeah, man! Let's go! Let's go! Oh, yeah! Hey! That's a hell of a win! Hell of a win! We talk about complementary football, right? Yeah. All three phases, right? Yeah. I told you, short week, no shortcuts. Now, listen. Do we have some ups and downs today? Yeah. Are there some things we have to clean up? Yes, sir. We will. But goodness gracious, man. I love you guys, man. You want to know how much I love you guys? You want to know how much I love you? I freaking love you. Good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Feels good gets better. Feels good gets better. Better gets best. Better gets best. Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, thank you, Levante, for sending that. Yeah, he really captured Hannibal Lecter, George Hallis. That was just fantastic. He is one of the best. He should have his own multi-million-dollar contract and showcase that guy. He's talented.
He really is. He does a superb job, and it's nice to have people in positions like him. And you have Kay Adams.
Yep.
And some others that are Bears fans.
Yeah, indeed. All right, let's get back to this game. I want to talk a little bit about the game-winning touchdown pass. Let's listen to, I think this is the coach talking about it.
3 receivers. They look like they're going to just throw a quick screen to Luther Burton. Watch Caleb Williams pump it and then release DJ Moore down that left sideline.
It was a perfect call. We ended up throwing a screen early in the game, and so it sets it up, to the same side, and so it sets it up, and then, being able to have that play call that we worked for, I think, the past 3 or 4 weeks, and just didn't use it in those other games, and then, in the right moment at the right time, Coach calls it just as he does, and the guys did a great job selling it. Obviously, DJ made a great catch. Just put the ball out there for him to, go out there, make a catch for us, and go win the game.
When did you see it? And what goes through your mind this split second?
Yeah, once we lined up, I actually I knew that we were about to hit it. Just off the demeanor of the guys on the other side of the ball, just had a feeling that was going to be the one. And like I said, the guys did a great job. O-line did a great job blocking. The guys did a great job over there selling the fake, and then obviously DJ going up the sideline.
So much to go over there, over that play, Greg. Have you had a chance to study it?
No, I haven't watched the All-22 yet, but I've seen a replay on that a bunch, and he set it up good. Got to say this about Caleb, because we've seen clips of Caleb all year.
Mm-hmm.
Just from beginning season to now, he has grown immensely.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
He's like a totally different person in front of the media.
Yes.
And then, and I know you got a clip of it, you go back to the locker room thing, and after they do, they give out the game balls, then Caleb kind of takes over the room and gives the game ball to Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really cool about it was his sincerity. And he got really emotional. I thought for a second he was going to start crying the way I'm watching this thing. It was,
so too, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good scene. But that shows, when he got a game ball, you saw how his teammates reacted. But then you also saw when he turned around and gave the ball to Ben.
Mm-hmm. That was a magic moment. I actually have the clip. Let's take a look at it. And I apologize if you don't like the music I put under it, but I always think cinematically, and I thought some sappy music might make it even more emotional. Here it is, a minute long.
15 years, they said. It's the haven't beaten Green Bay or whatever since whatever, right? Talk everything. Look at this guy right here. First playoff win. Everything he's done for us as a coach, everything the other coaches have done for us. You know, and it started with him, with bringing in everybody. And, get emotional, that, right? And for me personally, he's been, getting emotional. For me personally, he's been monumental in my life so far.
Yeah.
And so, to his first playoff win as a Chicago Bear.
Greg, are you crying?
No.
Did we catch you crying? Oh, that was perfect. Yeah,
I've been known to cry at movies.
Oh my goodness! Listen, I'm a big sap when it comes to emotional moments like that. But at the end of that game, I felt like crying because it was like, like Steve Young says, got the monkey off of my back when they finally won a Super Bowl, and that's what it felt like for us Bears fans, because the Packers have just dominated us for the better part of 20 years. It was your teams in the early part of this century.
We had a winning record.
Yes, indeed. But aside from that, after you left, it was like we went downhill with the Scream Bake crap. So this felt really, really special. Here's another clip that I wanna let's talk about that winning touchdown. I think this is just all 22 stuffs that we can talk about. So the right tackle is moved over to the left so that they can sell the concept that they're going to throw that wide receiver screen. And you'll see it. Watch the defensive back comes in, he's suckered in and leaves DJ Moore all alone, wide open. Why? Again, because the formation that
wasn't just the formation, it was, they're paying an unbalanced line.
Yeah, there you go.
Or no, who's playing it? Another lineman in there.
It's Cole Kmet was at right tackle.
Play it back again. Is sure it was Cole?
Yeah, Cole, 85. Cole.
You're right, it is Cole. So they got an unbalanced line, but look at the way Wright sells it. He goes out like a screen block.
Yes, exactly.
And so that brings up your corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Watch him come over here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I'm gonna play it one more time. When it gets to the overhead view, watch Luther Burden's reaction. I mean, as soon as the ball is thrown, he's already celebrating. You won't see it here, but you actually see him there. But you see it better here. It's just magical. Magical. Somebody used that word in the chat. It really is. Celebration. That was so beautiful. All right, enough of that. I got another piece of tape I'd like to share with you, Greg, and you may have seen it, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have seen it. It's Brian Boldinger's breakdown on that magical. Oh, okay. This is the pass that our quarterback Caleb threw when it was 4th down and 7, where he looked like Michael Jordan or Saquon Barkley. Take a listen to Baldy.
At the play of the game last night, 4th quarter, Bears down 27-16. It's 4th and 8. Here comes Isaiah McGuire coming around on a long limbo, and he's chasing Caleb Williams right here. And here comes Rome Odunze across the formation, and somehow Caleb gets the ball and throws Odunze open for 27 yards. Let's watch what Caleb does here, because the throw is crazy. Here comes McGuire, right? Isaiah McGuire coming free. And Caleb feels it, but he keeps his eyes up, and he breaks away right here. He's got one way right here. As McGuire dives at his legs, he's thrown the ball from that position. Like it's like a shortstop turning a double play, except the ball gets beyond the defense and into the weight and arms of Rome Odunze, away from Keyshawn Nixon. It's the play of the weekend right there on 4th and 8. And the Bears had...
I hope that somebody was able to photograph Caleb when he's in that position,
because they superimposed the Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw that. I want to get a big damn poster of that and put that right there. That was just one of the greatest plays I have ever seen a quarterback make. So athletic. This guy is special.
Yeah, there's no question. And he's starting to get the accolades. There was a post right before I came on, I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Orlovsky made a post basically saying it was one of the greatest throws ever. And then he was just getting ripped apart in the comments.
Really?
Because he said Green Bay was going to blow the Bears out.
Oh, that's right, he did.
And he's been real critical of Caleb all year.
Uh-huh.
So everybody was basically telling him to shut the up. And he between yesterday and today, that poor guy has taken a lot of abuse, and deservedly so.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I can't believe that anybody would doubt the Chicago Bears. I know they're going to tough opponent. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
I'm not worried about this one.
Good. Are you guaranteeing? Because when you guarantee, we always come through.
No, I'll tell you why. It's LA had to travel LA to Charlotte, back to LA. Now they got to come back here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when they went to Charlotte Saturday, I looked and I'm seeing at the beginning of the game, guys are in t-shirts and I was like, I wonder what the temperature is. So I, get out the weather, 72 degrees. Okay. It's 70s and 80s in LA in January. You know what the high is for Sunday? Is this morning? 15. And if this is the late game, we're talking single digits.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it's going to be the late game.
Yeah, bear weather works against certain teams. Obviously, it didn't work against the Washington then Redskins back in 1986-87 when we lost to the playoffs against them.
They could be used to it. They're not coming from LA, and this is a
exactly. Yep, I'm totally with you. By the way, and I'm trying to get on Twitter to capture his name. The guy that sends out that video of all of the Green Bay Packers fans' reaction, he found a
nuts?
Yeah, that's him. And I think I just put him on the screen just a second ago. Well, I'm not able to play it because YouTube says that there's copyrighted music on it. So I apologize. But Mr. Spanny McNuts, isn't it?
No, Mr. Spanners and Nuts.
Okay. Is that this guy? I think it's this guy. He's got a different name here for his YouTube connection. But either way, look for that. It's on. You and I retweeted it, so it'll be on. So if you're interested in looking at 10 minutes of Green Bay Packers fans crying,
well, it's pretty much a redo of the same video we saw a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Meltdowns by these guys who are, got a podcast going in real time during the game, and it's just the looks on their faces, the desperation, and they were having orgasms in the first half, and then to lose it all in the second half was just spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see any of that Eagles and a 49er game?
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
I had when it kept being close like that, I had a feeling San Francisco was going to pull that one out. Philly, actually, since the Bears kicked their ass, Philly hasn't been the same team.
I noticed that. It's pretty wild. They knocked Jalen Carter out of the game or into surgeries. He had bad shoulders because our offensive line manhandled what's his name? The Eagles defensive tackle. Carter. Every Bears fan wanted to draft over our right tackle. I think they
just got named All-Pro, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
Doesn't get in the Pro Bowl, but gets All-Pro. Okay.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Who does the All-Pro voting? Because I know the Pro Bowl is fans and blah blah blah.
Well, one of these was that Gen Stats or something like that. So it's people obviously understand things.
Mhm.
Some of it, like if you get AP All Pro, then that's writers.
Yeah. Got another soundbite I want to make sure I share with him. It's only 20 seconds long. This is Ben Johnson again. You could hear the emotion in his face and his voice, and I think he sort of gives a clue why.
Yeah. There was probably a little bit more noise coming out of their building up north to start the week, which we heard loud and clear, players and coaches alike. So this one meant something to us.
And that there was the reason for the brush off handshake.
Yep. Exactly. I also think that this is all, let me know your thoughts on this, that this is kind of premeditated. Just like Mike Ditka, established and intensified that hatred for Green Bay. I think Ben Johnson is throwing fuel to the fire because he wants the Bears players to have that chip on their shoulder because he knows that is useful. What do you think?
Yeah, you might have something there, and it's entirely possible. I tweeted out that I said he gets it, and that's when I was thinking about telling the story about Ed McCaskey coming into my office, and then you find out, and I think a while ago we said it on here about sometimes when you come in here as a player and it's your first year here, you might not get it when it comes to the Green Bay game. But then after you're here, like you get into your second year and you're living in Chicago and you're listening to the fans and that type of thing, then you do. And a perfect example was in the Score post game. So it's Pat Manley and Olin, talking, and Olin was kind of summing it up, and he's like, we haven't won like this since you and I were playing.
I love it.
So those guys get it, and they live here. So it didn't take Ben long, but then when you think about his history, he used to spend time every summer here, big Cubs fan, been in the NFC North. This is now his 5th year, I think, at 4 years in Detroit, 3 years as coordinator. Now here, 5th year in the NFC North. He knows it. He knows what all these rivalries are.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, he really understands it. And like I said before, I think there's an honest dislike for LaFleur. I don't think that's phony. I think that's honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Hair Bear says that Ben Johnson had his press conference at noon.
Yes, he had it before.
How dare he?
I was cleaning up, and I was surprised because I got a thing on X saying that coach is talking, because usually it's at 3 o'clock, and then I started thinking, well, they're preparing, doing a game plan, and this is a second round of the playoffs, so you don't want to waste time. He wants to really get at it.
That makes sense. You want to listen to the first few minutes of it?
Sure.
All right, here it comes.
It's a heck of a win for the guys the other day. Watching the tape, it's just credit to them for being able to pull out from 21-3 deficit there at halftime, and defense going up in the second half, only allowing 6 points, and then offense slowly chipping away and finding a way there. Last 3 possessions to score touchdowns. I think it was a 66-yard drive, 76-yard drive, and then another 66-yard drive. Special teams played a factor throughout that game. We thought that it's a really good punt unit that they were facing, and yet we were able to get a couple explosive punt returns. Duvernay had a heck of a game for us. Cairo came up big for us. Those conditions, really, Soldier Field this time of year are not advantageous for many kickers, and yet Cairo has proven that he's a guy that we can't not just trust, but he'll come through for us when we need him the most. So that was great to see. I thought the coaching staff did a phenomenal job throughout that game, just staying calm, cool, and collected, and making the necessary adjustments that we needed to make to help our guys out the most. And the veteran leadership, showed up as well, particularly at halftime. No one was panicking or anything like that. And, there's a belief with this team that shows up each and every week. It's kind of who we are here at this point. First playoff game for a number of guys. So not only getting that experience, but also getting their first playoff win. I think that's going to bode well for us going forward. This time of year, every point matters, every play matters, every blade of grass matters. And so we learned that, throughout those 60 minutes there the other night. So
collectively, you guys leaned into the animosity of the rivalry. What was the thought process of kind of using that as fuel rather than just being real tunnel vision?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a big game. First playoff game at home in a while, and we hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years or so. But certainly the opponent in and of itself, it means a lot to the city, this organization, and that's something that we certainly play into a little bit as coaches and players. Is we know how big it is when Chicago plays Green Bay.
There you go.
The skirmish before the game at the 50.
Yeah, so no one wants to see that. That's not. Both teams are highly charged. That's just it's not something that
I didn't see that till he mentioned it.
It's just pushing and shoving.
I was going to say, people have talked about, like, between you and LaFleur, the 2 wins things, the handshakes. Beyond, getting this important playoff win, why is this important to you, or is there something personal beyond that?
This is a rivalry, and city of Chicago, Green Bay, it needs to be a rivalry.
Great answer.
When you look at the rest of the coaches in the league, is McVay the best? Do you look at him as the gold standard among the rest of the coaches?
I think it's hard to gauge who's best and who's worst when it comes to the coaching sometimes, but there's no question about it. He is on the upper echelon. He does a phenomenal job. He has ever since he got to LA. All of his teams are really well prepared. There's no doubt that he's super sharp in the offensive side, but I think how he does it as a head coach, bringing all 3 phases together is really critical to their success. I think he does a great job. Knows how to speak to the team with the pulse of the team and get the most out of them. I mean, there's a reason why they're in it damn near every year since he's been there.
You get fired up for that matchup of the chess match between you and him, the way players do when a wide receiver knows he's going against a particular.
Well, when you look at this league right now, all right, where we're at in the season, there's going to be, after tonight's game, there's going to be 8 teams remaining, and all 8 are going to be really well coached. They're going to be really talented. It's just the way it is in the playoffs. Once you get to round 2, round 3, there are no weak links, and I got nothing but respect for the opponent that we're going to play this upcoming week because they're damn good. They're number 1 in offense in a number of categories. Their quarterback's playing at a really high level, MVP caliber level. And defensively, they create a lot of issues for you. And so this is going to take our best foot forward here to win this one this week.
And there's the belief that
one more.
What did it mean to you to stand next to Caleb and then hear him get emotional, choked up when talking about the impact you've had on him?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that coming, but it's why you get into coaching is you want to make an impact on the people around you, and it meant a lot. It really did.
Ask you, I think, about
That's
Caleb's.
Perfect way to end that. That was fantastic. Yeah. Greg, I imagine too, in your decades of being in the NFL, you can really relate to what happened there between Caleb and Ben Johnson. I remember being in that office where you're seated right now, and when you showed me that helmet with the guys that signed it, guys that you drafted and so forth, I could tell that you were as proud of that as you were any prized possession that you have. That's got to be ultra special.
Yeah, no, and I think that when you look at Caleb and Ben, they've both come a long way. We talked about Caleb a little earlier, but Ben is growing as a head coach. he's still a rookie head coach, until the end of this year. But he's growing leaps and bounds. But it's the bond that he has with Caleb has with him. And, who knew if that was going to work?
Yeah,
but
right.
it's clicked.
Yes.
It's clicked really well. And, he said it before, that they're not only coach and player, they're friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But good friends can be critical with each other.
Yeah, exactly. They have a confidence that I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Right.
And I think it goes both ways, because Caleb has said that he's expressed his frustrations to Ben, and that's a good thing. If he's not happy with something Ben wants him to do, express it, and then Ben is smart enough to deal with that in a positive, fruitful way.
There were some people who were trying to make a big deal, some national people or semi-national or whatever, second, third level national, that of Caleb screaming, hollering, bitching on the sideline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That's his freaking job.
Yes. Thank you.
He's the quarterback of the football team.
Yep.
Okay. And good quarterbacks rip their teammates sometimes. You have to. You're in charge.
Yep. Greg, I've only seen guys like Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady do that. The greats do that, and the first time he let go was because Luther Burden was supposed to run a dagger, and so he was expecting Burden to make that move towards the middle of the field, and that's why he threw it directly at that Green Bay Packer defender. And so I agree. Let him know that you're upset, and later on you go over and tap him on the ass and say, "Okay, let's do better."
Well, yeah, but it looks like he threw the worst pass in his career. When reality is the wide receiver ran the worst pattern of his career.
Exactly.
And so there's always, when you see a mistake like that, in that case, an interception, you got to know the background. You got to, who really made the mistake.
Exactly. And I was surprised that Kirk Herbstreit didn't catch that. I thought he did a good job in his broadcasting. He and Al Michaels did a nice job with that broadcast. But that was a time that I thought Herbstreit should have known that the receiver ran the wrong pattern, because he didn't really express.
I don't recall what he was saying. That I kind of tune out.
I know you've told me that before.
It's like I hear him talking, but I'm not really listening.
Yeah. J2K says Burden was lost on that play. I think J2K, what happened is he thought he was wide open, and that's why he put his arm up. But I think Declan Doyle talked about that earlier in the season. Is the quarterback is expecting you to run the route that was called, and unless you're putting your arm up super early, so that the quarterback then makes the adjustment. You better run that route. And so that's what it was.
Well, let's go back to what we were talking about earlier in the season when Luther wasn't playing as much. And why he wasn't playing as much. And that's why. It was his attention to detail. It was that he didn't totally know and understand the offense, and he wasn't totally trusted. Now he's come on by leaps and bounds the second half of the season, but he still makes a bonehead mistake here and there, and that was one of them.
Yep, indeed. What did you think? Were you happy to see Tyreek and Kyler on the field? I mean, it wasn't until the second half that those guys were utilized.
Yeah, Tyreek, I think, I don't recall if he was playing much in the first half. I'm glad he was playing. And after he sat last week, if he's a competitor, he's going to be hungry.
Yes.
And I think he needs to play more, given that both Kyler and Jalen aren't 100%, and they won't be 100% until we see him next year. Next season. So, yeah, he's got to play more. In my opinion, anyway. And why he didn't play last week, and part of it may be they just didn't give a shit last week. You know, they might say they did.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there was, not like totally give a shit, but didn't put 100% into winning and made some strategic decisions on giving people more rest or whatever they were up to. All right. So Damon is asking, do you think that Dennis Allen will have Jalen Johnson shadow Puka Nacua?
I'm going to say no, because Jalen's not 100%.
Yeah.
Now, Puka is not a burner.
No.
But he's an excellent route runner.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, and Adams isn't a burner.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good route runner. Neither, you look at the times when they came out, Puka was close to a 4.6 guy, and Adams, and he's been out for a long time, as a 4.52 guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. By the way, people in the chat, if you got a question, please start it with @Barroom Network, so that way I can more easily spot it. That would be helpful for me to get your question in. This one is from Paul. He says, what do you think the game plan will be to contain Puka and Adams? You think it'll be a mixture of zone and man-to-man?
Yeah, I would think you're going to do that, but and the quarterback's hurt a little bit.
Yeah, Stafford
hurt a finger. McVay said he sprained his finger. He'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sprained his index finger. Sometimes those are, sore day 2, day 3 than they are when it happens.
Right.
Same thing happened to Josh Allen yesterday, but he was able to work through it. But that doesn't mean he's going to be good, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's going to be cold. And injuries, when it gets real cold, are a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Warthog, I think we're just talking about that. He was asking about your view on man versus zones for the Bears.
Well, a lot of the concepts are going to be similar to what San Francisco has. The Rams don't have the speed that San Francisco has at the wide receiver position.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone can make it a little bit easier. But, they got Stafford is a very accurate quarterback. Now, he's not anywhere near as mobile as the San Francisco quarterback. And he's not, Stafford has had a history of you bang him a couple times. He kind of throws it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that going all the way back to when he was at the University of Georgia. So you got to get after his ass. You got to pressure him.
Do you think, because he played in Detroit, but of course that was a dome stadium.
Yeah, played in a dome stadium the whole time. He's been a dome his whole career.
Yeah. So do you think that the weather at 15 degrees could affect him adversely like it does Jared Goff?
I think, you go back and look at conditions. How's he played outdoors in horrible conditions? You'd have to go through the different games and see.
Indeed. Got another question here from our man Levante. Do you envision Dennis Allen incorporating more delay blitz packages as he did Saturday to confuse Stafford? Boy, why not?
I've said this before. I'm not an X and O guy.
Uh-huh.
He's going to do what he thinks is good enough to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a text from my daughter. I got to see what she wants.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we got some text messages from her you want to share, right?
Oh, it's just a thing about Josh Allen. My girls are avid Bills fans, and they're big Bears fans too. So
yeah, but Bills won.
Bills are 1, Bears are 2. And they're Buffalonians, true. They're season ticket holders.
Good for them. Well, you have some text messages that you wanted to share.
It was funny because I sent a text to them, to both of them, and they're both at their own house. And I said, just go Bills. And then all of a sudden we were in a 3-way chat for the next 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious, some of the stuff. And like my daughter, Ryan, who's married, got 4 kids, Rich, her husband, Rich, was a great guy. He played tight end in college, big dude, but he gets overexcited. and he can't even sit down. He's walking back and forth, and she's sending me videos, and she goes, "I got to get another room to put a TV in. I can't take this."
That would drive me crazy too.
He screams at the TV. The kids, I tell you, I scream at I scream when the dog goes crazy. He thinks I'm mad at him. Well, the same thing. He's got his little kids. They think the same thing.
That's wild.
So,
Laz says that your daughters will love this year's Super Bowl, Bears versus Bills.
Well, that's what started the thing. Kelsey said to me, she sent a text to me Saturday during the Bears game. She goes, "It's going to be a Bills-Bears Super Bowl." And I said, "Oh, that'd be nice, but I'm not anticipating that." Mm-hmm. And then Ryan chirps in and said, "I got a pool where that's the winning pool. If it's, it's only who plays in the Super Bowl." Mm-hmm. And she goes, "If it's Bills Bears, I win."
Ooh, that'd
so
be nice.
Yeah,
a couple thousand, I hope.
So Ryan "Where's this one thing?" She said, not just talking about. She sends me a video of Rich, her husband. Too bad I can't show it to you. She goes, "Who needs to go to a game when you have a coach and a commentator in your living room?" She goes, "I can't wait to be able to get out of here at the half and go watching TV by myself."
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. When you watch a game with someone else, Greg, does it annoy you sometimes, or do you?
I like to be alone,
yeah,
semi-alone. Yeah. So Kelsey goes, "I need a sedative." Ryan goes, "I opened a drink." Takes off the edge. So Kelsey goes back, "I fear if I open a bottle, I'll chug the whole thing." So
that'd be awesome.
Goes, "Get a straw. It'll be more classy." and they're going on and
it's a great comedy routine between the two.
It was going back and she says, "I'm dying." Then she goes, "I'm deceased. I literally can't breathe. I feel heart palpitations, literally bullets of sweat on my forehead." I go, "Calm down, ladies. I can't. I think I need to be hospitalized." Kelsey goes,
that was a dramatic game.
Kelsey goes, "I undressed because my sweatshirt was soaked." I said, and then at the end, Ryan goes, "I'm crying." Kelsey goes, "Same." So I go, "Did Richie calm down?" Yeah, finally. But I just touched it. It went on for 3 hours.
That had to be a blast. That had to be a blast.
And I was really, I was as emotionally involved as they were, but it was just so much fun interacting with my two girls like that.
Yeah. Yeah. My stepdaughter, Caitlin, she was over and watched the game with us, and she just has a terribly negative attitude because she's been to Bear Packer games in the past, and it's always been heartbreak. And so I'm, at halftime, I'm telling her, "We're going to win this game." And she says, "Yeah, keep telling yourself that, keep telling yourself that." And, they scored a touchdown. "I told you they're going to win this game." And she's rolling her eyes at me and so forth. And when we took the lead, I got up and I put the camera in front of her face and she's trying to hide. "I told you. And never doubt this team. This is different than in the past. This is really a monumental, fantastic moment for us Bears fans. All right, we got a bunch of questions that have piled up while you and I were talking. Let us go to, by the way, kudos to Tim Richos. He says, "Congratulations on the win." By the way, he is a Detroit Lions fan. He's a more fair-minded Detroit Lions fan than some of the other rascals we get in here.
Yeah, speaking of, and that is nice of him, and thank you. I got a post from one DM from one Detroit fan, and he goes, "Yeah, chalk it up now. You're going to lose next week." So I just said, "Yeah, but you're done.
Yeah,
you're sitting at home playing with your pud," and that's exactly what I said to him. So I said, "I don't want to hear your shit."
Oh man, I'm telling you, some of these Packer fans are so entitled. It's unbelievable. Well, you know how Aaron Rodgers says, I own you, I still own you. Well, now we are going to go on a run and we're going to own Titletown.
I posted that
right Chicago.
After the game. I said, Caleb Williams owns the Packers.
Love it.
And he's won 2 out of the last 3. So I right away said, Packers people, you know, blah, blah, blah. I said, you had your time, bro. Sit down and relax.
It's over now.
It's all over.
Yep. It looks like Matt LaFleur, according to Adam Schefter, is going to try to sign a contract extension with the Packers. They're talking about it. So unless they can come to some agreement, because LaFleur is going to want a raise, which is going to be hard for the team to justify that to Packer fans who are calling for his hand.
Theoretically, the agent's not supposed to talk, and I don't know who his agent is, not supposed to talk to some of these other teams because they don't have permission. He's under contract.
Right.
Don't think for a second there isn't anything going on.
Do you think teams are calling the agent, and is that allowed?
It's not allowed.
Okay, so an agent can't call LaFleur's agent, and I mean a team can't call LaFleur's agent and say, "Hey, if you're
you can't legally, you better have a burner."
So by league rules, you can't do it.
No, that's tampering.
So what about if they call and say, "Hey, would should we talk trade? Trade LaFleur to the?"
Well, they'd have to talk to Gutekunst.
Okay.
On that one, but what really surprised, because LaFleur's a good coach. But fact is, and what cheeseheads don't understand, I had to remind them a few times. This team has lost 5 games in a row. Last 4 games of the season, this game, and they've lost 7 out of their last 11. Don't tell me you're good.
Yeah, you better check yourself.
You're 4-7 in your last 11 games.
Indeed. By the way, J2K noticed something. He says Greg's New Year's resolution to be nice to Packer fans.
I took a day, but I wasn't real bad. I've been worse, but now I gotta see. We don't have to hear from them for a year.
Yeah,
or at least until whenever we play them to open 26. But so there won't even be any talk with them then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do have an opportunity to get better next year with the return of Parsons.
Yeah.
If Zach Tom, their right tackle, comes back and plays to the All-Pro or Pro Bowl level, and they're gonna they hope they're gonna hit on some draft picks.
Yeah, but they don't have a 1. They don't have a 1 the next 2 years.
That's true.
Doesn't mean they can't hit, but because you can always hit down the road. The Rams for years didn't have, the saying they had in the draft room there, those draft choices, they kept trading them away, yet they were still a perennial playoff team. But I just, and I'm saying this sincerely, not because I'm a Bears fan, I don't think they're as good as people want to make them out to be. They're a middle of the road football team.
Yeah.
And the quarterback is middle of the road. He can get hot. He can get streaky. He's only won 1 playoff game, I think.
Yeah.
And he's been in a bunch.
Yes.
Okay. So I just, you look at the division, at best they're 3rd.
It's interesting because I saw both of LaFleur's last press conferences. Yesterday he had one, and after the game, and the Green Bay Packers fans are upset with him because he kept Joe Barry as defensive coordinator for 2 or 3 seasons when that defense was terrible under Barry. The special teams have been a problem year after year after year, and so fans were saying he may know offense, but he doesn't know how to coach an entire team. And so that's why fans are anxious to see him.
Yeah, fans always got the answer. They want to fire him. I don't see how you can. I don't see how it can be done. First of all, if you're going to fire a coach, you better have somebody in mind to replace him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Who are you going to replace him with? Who in this cycle is better? There's only one guy.
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's the only guy you can put in the same room with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And Harbaugh might be the solution because he's good at overseeing all 3 units. And maybe
I think, and I'm guessing, but I said it last. I think he's going to end up in New York, and I think that's a really good spot for him.
Yeah, indeed. We got a donation coming in from Willie Wall, he brought us a $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get to some of the questions we have here. Thank you, Willie Wall. Really appreciate it. This is from Spawn. He says, Greg, have you seen Ashton Kutcher on Rich Eisen?
I saw it Saturday afternoon before the game.
Yeah, I think that's when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of entertaining. It was good.
He does his homework, I'll tell you that. I mean, he's studying where the safeties are and telling, there's a tendency that when they do this, they do that. I thought he was, very knowledgeable.
Met him, I think it was at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the field. It was it was the Super Bowl or one of the playoff games, but I think it was the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the field. It was him, Demi Moore, and Bruce Willis, which I thought was kind of weird.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
His wife and his wife's ex-husband. Okay, but anyway, it was. They're nice people and big fans. And there was a video. Vince Vaughn was on the sidelines.
Wow, cool.
Who's a big Bears fan. And then did you see the Cubs center field was with Caleb on the field after the game?
Mm-hmm.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah.
Did you see that? There was a video of that.
I did see that. Yes. All right. We got this is a question that I was actually going to ask you. I'm glad that Ho Ho Loco brought it up because I almost forgot. He says, we're all hearing that the Falcons can make it so that they because Matt Ryan is going to be the decision maker. The NFL rules say that if Ian Cunningham is hired as the GM, the Bears will not get those 2 third-round picks.
Not entirely true.
Really? Tell us why.
Well, number one, there are GMs that don't have control of the 53, yet they got, if they're a person of color, a minority,
right?
You got to give the thing. It'll be determined if Ian gets the job there,
mm-hmm.
and I don't think if the Bears aren't going to get something out of it, he might not even want to take the job, or whatever. But what's in the contract is going to be the determining factor.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so what that one report, which I think was Jones from CBS, who came out with that, I saw it, I go, not entirely true.
Yeah.
And it gets down to the contract, because contract spells out what you have and what you don't have,
mm-hmm.
as far as control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Ian's agent could say, you want me, that's fine, but I got to have this.
Mm-hmm.
And by giving him that, and in all honesty, Matt Ryan has no experience.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he give up that?
Yeah, I agree with that. It just seems weird to bring in the president of operations, an immediately guy without a track record of player management of any sort.
So it's, just don't worry about it, discuss it, say this, that, or the other thing until you know. And when you know when you're going to know, when the contract's signed.
Exactly.
And then and the league either does or doesn't award draft picks.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Jones said that because Ian is an assistant general manager, it might be considered a lateral move if indeed Matt Ryan is going to.
General man, but it's for a general manager position.
That's what I'm thinking.
And he interviewed for the president position.
Oh, Ian did? I didn't know that.
That's what he interviewed for.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Jonathan Jones is right, if Ian would even go to that interview, or if he imposed, agree, don't take that job. If
he might not even have to interview now. They could say he's already interviewed now.
Right.
Was Matt Ryan part of that interview? No.
Because they're friends. Matt Ryan and Poles are.
Yeah, we're roommates in college.
Right. So I can't.
But Ian interviewed for the president's job Matt Ryan was, because he didn't have the job, he was not part of that interview. So technically, yeah, I guess you'd want him to interview another time. There's a little discrepancy too. Some people say, well, they got to wait until the Bears lose now. And I don't think that with coaches, that's the case. Front office is a different story.
Yeah.
But there's some ambiguity in that. You got to know exactly what the league rules say. But you could, last year, the Kansas City director of player personnel took the Titans job, GM job, during the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting.
And Kansas City was still playing because they went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, some other questions here. It looks like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has a chance to come off the concussion protocol this week. And if not, then it's a serious concussion because usually it lasts a week.
Well, it depends on the defensive end. I never forget his name, Tyron Shinka or whatever his name is. He's missed 2 games now.
Didn't he play Sunday?
No, he wasn't active. He's out. Okay. He was on the on the injury list. Is out.
Okay.
So it depends how bad your bump on the head is. You gotta pass these tests that they give. I'll tell you something off the air, and then
okay.
I can't do it here.
All right. People. All right. We got another question. Best meat marinade. Greg, have you heard that Lamar Jackson gets coaches fired according to coach job Jason Brown? I'm not sure who that is, but
no, I think there's we're not there. We don't know what the hell happens. I just know one thing about John Harbaugh. That team's good every year. They're in the playoffs. This year they're not. They're in the playoffs every year. But, I kind of look at that situation is almost like Andy Reid in Philly. Now, Andy's situation, I was in Philly as a consultant his last year. And I've mentioned this before. His son died of an overdose during training camp.
Whose son?
Andy Reid's.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Okay. So that season went down the tubes like 1 week into camp.
Yep.
And, that whole situation missed a whole week of practice or most of a week of practice. It was just a horrible, horrible situation. And the season itself wasn't good. And Philly let go of Andy at the end of the season. And, I remember talking to Howie. I go, why? He goes, we had to. It was just best. And I think as it turned out, for both it was best. For Andy, it was even better. Andy got a fresh start right away at Kansas City and turned them into a perennial Super Bowl type team.
Yeah.
Contender. And I think the same thing can happen with Harbaugh. He's been there so long that now you can get reinvigorated. How about this? Because I saw a video of it. He can go out of his backyard to the fence. There's a fence separating his backyard with the guy behind him. The guy behind him is the GM. They live like back-to-back houses.
That's pretty awesome. All right, we got a question that just came in, and Darrell Taylor was released by the Texans a few hours ago. Do you think that the Bears might have any interest in Darrell Taylor? He's former Bear, and J2K adds to it that Taylor was brought in by a different coaching staff when he was with the Bears. Poles may know him, but none of the current coaches know him.
He has to go through waivers. Somebody can claim him even though they're not, they're done playing.
Right.
So you have to see. I mean, that's going to be totally up to, the personnel staff will have something to do with it, but it'll be up to the coaching staff too, the injury situation, et cetera. And if they think, it's going to help the team.
Yeah. Okay. I think we got a couple more here. Chim, the Detroit Lions fan, says, so what Greg is saying, I should have brought that up earlier, is that the Bears beat another bad team. He's trying to make a joke, I'm sure. No, I'm the one that makes jokes around here. Get out of here. This is a great question. People have been wanting you to answer this. Why has our run game fallen off? It seems like we're not running
the
well.
defenses are trying to stop it.
Because it's not. I worried a little bit that perhaps Manangai, being a rookie, now playing in his 18th game of the season, was starting to get tired, but he's still running hard. But
Sure is. And it may be better against the Rams than it was this past week. And don't forget too, now you're playing the third time you played Green Bay in 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two teams know each other.
Yeah.
And so now you're playing a team that it's been a couple of years anyway since they played, and first time since Ben. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to play Philly. I'd rather have the Rams. Number one was the weather, but the other was played Philly and kicked their ass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you play a team that's not in your division a second time, the results aren't always good.
Yeah.
And so it could be a little bit of a revenge factor for Philly, even though it was here, and the playoff experience that Philly team has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're the defending world champions. I thought, that could be a really tough matchup. I'd rather play the team coming from sunny LA, or, they still practice in shorts where, here you got to be the abominable snowman or something and just to go out to practice.
My only concern about the Rams is Jared Verse, who could be lining up against Theo Benedette. And Benedette is an excellent run blocker, but Verse is an outstanding pass rusher. So
no question. And this team has played against some of the best pass rushers in the league this year, and they found a way to stop them.
Very true.
And I may be wrong on this, but I think when Theo was starting, they didn't lose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was part of that 10-game streak, and he started 5-6 games. Yeah. Then he gets dinged, and Ozzie comes in, and then we're going to keep Ozzie in there. So, it's not like you're putting a guy who didn't have any experience.
Right.
He got his game time. He played well. He's a better run blocker than Ozzie. He's not as good a pass blocker. But then he's next to an all-pro in Tooney. You're going to probably, you'll help with a tight end or a back on chipping Verse, and then go from there.
There you go. Durham Smythe, front and center. You got a job to do. A couple more questions here. Let's see. Eric is asking, think we see a better rushing game with Theo at left tackle? I think
he's a damn good run blocker.
He really is.
But I think he started the Philly game, didn't he? Or is that the week before? Maybe that was Ozzie's first game starting. But it was right around in there that he came out. But yeah, the run game was real good when he was in there. The last few weeks, it hasn't been as good. But when you look, you're playing division opponents in 3 of those games, which are always tougher games.
Yep.
And, I just like the way this thing sets up this week. Doesn't mean the Bears are going to win. I like the way it sets up. I like the whole matchup.
I love it. I love it.
We can't emphasize enough, the fans got to be the same Sunday as they were Saturday night.
Thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up. Ben Johnson mentioned it to the players. Ben Johnson mentioned it to the media. Al Michaels had one of the best comments, most insightful, not insightful, but a comment that really stayed with me. He says, I've done 31 games in this stadium, and I've never felt the booth vibrate the way that it is right now. That's how much noise Bears fans were making, and I'm so happy.
I think it was Adam Hogue had a video that he put on. There was
Adam Johns. I saw that. Yeah, the cup.
Okay, with the can, the soda can or whatever.
Yes.
Was shaking, and then Courtney, right around the same time, Courtney Cronin said it's literally shaking in the press box.
Yeah, amazing. That is so good. I got to tell you, years ago when I would go to the Bears games, the fans all sat on their hands, and I'm like, I know you people are all rich, but please show a little blue collar cheering here.
No, I think you had coaches pleading, radio people pleading, players pleading, ex-players pleading, like Jerry Azuma and some of the others, and the message got out. And I not a doubt in my mind it made a difference.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. All right. Oh yeah. So Kay says Courtney Cronin must be rocking with the Bears and her Hoosiers.
Oh God, she probably doesn't go to sleep at night. I mean,
yeah. But one of my physical therapists went to the University of Indiana and is also a Bears fan, so she's probably going nuts too.
Yeah.
That is the league's oldest stadium now that Buffalo is closed, right? No, even Buffalo closed.
Buffalo cannot play. They're the 6th seed. There's no way they can play another game.
No more games there.
Even if they go to the Super Bowl, they can't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised they get the wrecking ball on that sucker pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
That stadium was built in '73. You do the renovation. I mean, the Arrowhead's older than so. Now I think the old Soldier one that is on the boundary.
100,000 seats. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say it's the oldest, but that stadium was built and we started playing in it in 2003, so it's only 22. This is the 22nd season.
Good point.
Arrowhead was actually built around the same time as Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, maybe even a year older, and they've done a great job. Of course, you don't have the weather in Kansas City that you have in Buffalo, but they're going to get a new stadium. I mean, it looks like they're going across the river into Kansas. That still remains to be seen, but that's the way it looks right now. People are making a big deal out of it. The different. That's like going from Gurnee to Lake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
When you go from Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas, it's the same freaking city. But the state line runs through the middle of the city.
Yeah, interesting. All right. So are you okay if the Bears move to Northwest Indiana?
It's a longer drive if I want to go to a game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and for everyone,
you know what? I wherever they can get the best deal, and there's a poker game going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And everybody's trying to bluff. Personally, I think politics in this state is just awful, and it has nothing to do with Democrat. I mean, there's so much in debt, but at the same time, the Bears aren't asking for anybody to pay for the stadium. We're footing the bill. You want help in the infrastructure. The infrastructure helps everybody. Doesn't
absolutely
help the stadium, it helps everybody.
Yep. There was a news report on one of the local stations here about how businesses are just thriving with more customers in downtown Chicago because of all the excitement related to the Bears. So, city officials.
I went to school my first 2 years of college, not far from where the Foxborough Stadium is. And when I was going, the stadium wasn't even there. I went to a Bills Patriots game. I had to go up to Harvard. They were playing at Harvard Stadium. And then they had the one stadium. They tore that down. Now they got the one that's currently there.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole area, just because of that stadium, has built up so much. And I couldn't help but thinking, I was there, not too long ago. It couldn't help but think, what's going to happen in your town if that's where the stadium ends up going.
Yep. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Come on, let's go. Make this happen. Put that shovel in the ground. Give them money up, whatever it takes. I am looking. Our last question. Somebody wants to know how come Ja'Day Walker didn't see as many snaps? And I'm trying to find out how
I don't
many
think
snaps.
he wasn't active.
He wasn't active. Okay, yeah. I mean, he's 0 snaps. So why do you think that was, given that he played so well?
Oh, because Rome was back.
Ah, there you go, True Pilgrim. Who do you want, Rome or Ja'Day? Rome or Ja'Day? I think Rome. Although J2K was making some points about Rome much earlier, saying that Rome doesn't have that flexibility to get those hips down low and make those quick cuts like other receivers. And I know I'm butchering what you said there, J2K. But
No,
what do you think?
I know what you mean. I'd have to look at the tape, the routes he was running, and see, and he may very well be 100% accurate.
Yeah, right.
But he still, I mean, he caught the big pass. The fourth down pass, incredible. It was a good catch and an incredible throw. You know, so he was there. Was he his usual self? No, but part of that too is he hadn't played in 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to take a while.
I think, and this is where getting him at least semi-healthy, the Rams got to do something to stop Colston Loveland. And what's that help? Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze.
Exactly. Man,
Okay, so if they go, we got to stop this guy. Look what he's done the last few weeks. And he's been the best tight end in football the last month.
Yeah.
So now you got to do something to stop him. Good. Then we'll go here.
Yeah.
And that's an advantage. And as they grow within this offense that the Bears have, you know, there's so many people that think DJ is going to get traded. I just don't see it. I just, you know, maybe they can restructure his contract some way. I don't know, but I just think he means too much to the team.
He's really proven himself how valuable he is.
And on top of that, it's you got to replace him. Who are you going to replace him with?
Yeah, I mean, you could draft a mid-round wide receiver who could, you know, help. But yeah,
oh yeah, you could, and you know, you'd have to if they traded him. But at the same time, you look at the weapons you have, you're taking away a weapon.
Yeah, big time weapon.
And so now you got to replace that weapon. Who are you going to replace with? Ja'Day Walker? He's the only guy that's really under contract for next year. Because OZ is not, he on a 1-year deal. He's a free agent again.
He's gone. He's gone. He will not be brought back. That's for sure.
Well, he could be, but you're going to bring him back for what you're paying him this year. You're not going to give him any more.
Hell no. Sorry, OZ, but I mean, he's. I like his locker room presence because I've heard him talk. The OZ is smart. He knows. He gets out in that field. He knows what everybody's doing on his side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball.
There's no special to him. He's a good player. There's no special to him. He helps you win. You win with him. You don't win because of him.
Right.
He's not anywhere as talented as the top 3. Okay, there's a drop off when you go to him. Now,
and by the way, Duvernay, as Ho Loco says, Duvernay has been playing pretty good.
Yeah, Duvernay he's been a Pro Bowl return guy. Not like, you know,
but he's getting open when he runs those routes. He gets open.
Yeah, but he only played 5 snaps a game, if that, on offense.
Yeah, let me see. I can tell you because I opened up Kevin Fishbane's tweet here. I don't even see him on the list here.
No, I think he just.
Oh no, one play.
One play, but his presence was felt as a returner.
How about it? Indeed, he's finally come through for us. And by the way, Cairo Santos has played well all year, except he had one game where he didn't play well. I think we need to start a Cairo Santos appreciation movement.
I think you brought up a point, and Ben was talking about it, and then I was going to bring it up, and we got onto something else. Soldier Field, this time of year, is the toughest stadium in the league to kick in because of the winds. And why do you think they go down there during the week with the kickers?
Yeah.
So they can learn how to kick in that place.
Indeed.
And it's the way the winds swirl, the lake's right there. It's just different. And you get a guy that comes in who hasn't played there much. I don't know how much this Green Bay kicker played here, but isn't before. But if he doesn't know it and understand it, he's dead. Especially in conditions like that. And there's been worse than there were Saturday night. Saturday night was relatively mild, and the wind took his ball. You better know what the hell you're doing.
Better, indeed. Yeah, he has mastered field goal kicking at Soldier Field. The
And
one thing
Robbie Gold did too. You need experience in this stadium to have success.
The one thing Santos needs to improve on is those kickoffs, those what do they call them? Trash kickoffs, where he hits a line drive so it could land on the.
They wanted to land around the 18, 17-yard line and bounce.
Right.
But you miss a golf shot every once in a while. You're going to, it's not an easy thing to do.
Oh, yeah. It's totally opposite of what field goal kick is.
Because you're looking for a specific area for it to hit. And if you're short, they're getting the ball on the 40-yard line.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I was, I'm a big Cairo fan, but when he got that penalty with what was it, 2-3 minutes left in the game, and they got the Packers got the ball on the 40-yard line, I was not happy with Cairo. And he had just hit a field goal, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for our show. So, what do you think?
2 hours, hour and 50.
Yeah, what do you think? You're feeling good about the Rams game?
I feel real good. I'm not going to guarantee. I feel really good. Want to see what the injury reports are. Me and Swifty are going again Friday. We've been going now.
Excellent.
The last few weeks.
Excellent.
Now we're superstitious. We're not going to. So
So make sure you are subscribed to the Swift Sports Network and also Bears Country Productions. They're going to have an interview with Eric Kramer on Thursday night on their weekly Thursday night show, and they have a show from the UK every Tuesday at 3 p.m. We'll be back here tomorrow night, but John Buffone and his team, and then again on Wednesday night. Greg, anything else you want to plug?
No, just let's settle down, and Sunday we'll get here soon enough. I like the fact that, both teams played Saturday, so both teams have an extra day.
I loved it.
So that part's good. I just, I don't think we'll find out until tonight.
After the game. Correct. After the game.
But my gut feeling is it's going to be the late game.
Yeah, I agree. That's a big audience, man. That's going to be.
But I don't know who's
huge audience.
I don't even know if they've assigned the networks yet. Have they?
No, they have not. They have not.
Because it's going to 4 different networks, 4 games, 4 networks, and so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Who gets what?
By the way, if it's like on Peacock. I think WFLD channel 32 for those in the city.
It won't be Peacock because it'll be NBC. No, NBC could have it, CBS could have it, Fox could have it, or ESPN could have it. Those are the 4.
I think Peacock is involved there, according to the graphic I saw last night.
Peacock is NBC, and so it'll be simulcast on Peacock and.
Gotcha.
NBC,
and WFLD in Chicago.
I don't think. I'd be surprised. They did the prime thing, but I'd be surprised if they put a second-round playoff game strictly on a streaming service. There's been games that have been done on Peacock and NBC at the same time.
Yeah, I recall that.
Yeah. Okay, and some of the Sunday nights games have been like that, but we'll see.
J2K, by the way, said we didn't even mention all those 4th down attempts that Ben Johnson ran in the first half. And he explained why after the game. He said, we wanted more time of possession. So we came into the game knowing we were going to try for it on 4th down. The players on you, everyone. It was an aggressive approach. It might have backfired a little bit, but in the end, everything turned out okay.
Well, the only one I was really surprised at was the one from their own 32.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't think that one bit him in the ass too much, did it?
No.
So, but aside from that, you know, it's not just him. A lot of teams are doing the same thing now.
It is true. It is true. By the way, I did.
Hunter did not punt, by the way. First time in any game he's been involved in that he never punted.
That's right. He held.
Going back to college.
Going back to Iowa, even?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he never played before Iowa.
Well, at Iowa, I think he would punt like about 10 times every game because their offense was so awful. One other thing I want to mention about Amazon, NFL Network replayed their next-gen stats version with the camera is overhead the entire game. And
really?
Yeah, and it was outstanding. If you get a chance, if they play it again on NFL Network, Greg, I'll send you a text because it's worth watching at least a portion of the game because it's so informative about stuff. All right, Greg, you going to stick around and tell me something?
Yeah.
All right. For Greg Gabriel, my name is Aldo Gandia. We'll see you all next week after the Bears kick ass. Take care, everyone.